Today we are going through every single one of the 48 laws. All of them. Not skimmed, not summarized into neat little motivational quotes, but actually decoded, with real historical examples that show you why these laws work. If you stay until the end, you will understand human nature at a level most people never reach in a lifetime. And more importantly, you will never be the pawn again. Let us begin in 17th century France, at the most spectacular party in history. Nicolas Fouquet, the finance minister to King Louis XIV, wanted to impress his king, so he threw a party at his personal chateau. Fireworks, fine food, thousands of guests, the most magnificent event France had ever seen. He genuinely believed this display of wealth and taste would earn him favor. The next morning, Louis XIV had him arrested. Fouquet spent the rest of his life in a prison cell. Law 1. Never outshine the master. The people above you, your boss, your patron, your investor, must always feel superior. Show your talent, absolutely. But the moment they begin to feel overshadowed, insecure, or threatened, you become a liability. Make them feel brilliant, and you will be protected. Make them feel small, and you will be removed. This is not pessimism. This is how power structures have worked throughout all of recorded history. The rest of the foundational laws build on this core insight. Law 2 tells you to be cautious about trusting friends too deeply. Friendship is layered with emotion, jealousy, and assumptions. A former enemy whom you forgive will often work twice as hard to prove their loyalty, because they have something to prove. Your closest friend assumes you owe them everything. Law 3 is about concealing your intentions. Otto von Bismarck built modern Germany not through declarations, but through strategic opacity. When people cannot read your next move, they cannot block it. Law 4 says to say less than necessary. Louis XIV terrified his courtiers not with threats, but with silence. Words reveal you. Silence forces others to guess. And guessing makes people anxious. And anxious people make mistakes. Law 5 treats your reputation as your most valuable asset. It can take decades to build, and one careless moment to destroy. Protect it with the same ferocity you would protect your life. Law 6 insists on commanding attention. Thomas Edison understood something Nikola Tesla did not. Genius alone is invisible. The person who captures public imagination wins, even if they are not the most technically gifted in the room. Tesla may have been the better scientist. Edison became a legend. Law 7 is pragmatic and unsentimental. Let others do the work, but ensure the credit is yours. Law 8 says, do not go to people, make people come to you. When you control the location, the terms, and the pace of any interaction, you control the outcome. Law 9 is perhaps the cleanest of the early laws. Win through your actions, not your arguments. Debate exhausts people. Results silence them. For 10 years, the Greek army could not breach the walls of Troy. Then they stopped trying. They built a massive wooden horse, left it on the beach as a gift, and sailed away as if defeated. The Trojans celebrated their victory, dragged the horse inside the gates, and that night, soldiers hidden inside it opened the city from within. Law 12. Use selective honesty to disarm your target. One genuine act of openness or generosity can dissolve years of suspicion. It is not manipulation in the crude sense. It is understanding that people lower their guard when they feel they have received something real. The Trojan horse was not just a military strategy. It was a psychological one. Law 15 follows a harder principle. Crush your enemy completely. When Rome finally defeated Carthage, their great rival, they did not simply claim victory. They burned the city to the ground, salted the earth, and erased Carthage from the map. Brutal, yes, but the lesson is clear. A wounded enemy does not forget. Mercy left unearned becomes a future threat. The remaining laws of this chapter form a protective intelligence. Law 10 warns you away from the chronically miserable. Suffering, bitterness, and bad luck are contagious in social ecosystems. People who are perpetually unfortunate often unconsciously drag others down with them. Law 11 builds your strategic security. Make others depend on you. When people need you, they protect you. Law 13 says, when you need a favor, appeal to someone's interests, not their compassion. People respond to what benefits them far more reliably than they respond to your need. Law 14 advises you to act like a friend while thinking like an intelligence officer. The most valuable information is gathered through casual conversation, not interrogation. Law 16 is one of the most powerful. Create value through absence. When you are always available, always present, always responsive, you become ordinary. Strategic withdrawal makes people remember why they value you. Law 17 says stay unpredictable. The moment someone can model your behavior, they can outmaneuver you. Consistency is a form of vulnerability. Law 18 cautions against isolation. Building walls around yourself might feel safe, but it cuts you off from information, alliances, and opportunities. Power lives in connection, not in fortresses. Law 19 is a warning rooted in common sense. Know who you are dealing with before you engage. Stalin's political opponents did not merely lose their careers, they disappeared. Picking the wrong battle against the wrong person is not bravery, it is waste. Charles Manson never personally committed the murders his followers carried out. He never needed to. He had done something far more powerful. He had replaced the logic in people's heads with a story. He gave them identity. He gave them belongings. He gave them a mission. He made himself the center of their emotional universe. And that is exactly why Law 27 is perhaps the most chilling in the entire book. Play on people's need to believe, and you can create a following that will do almost anything. Human beings are not primarily rational. We are primarily emotional, and we use reason to justify what we already feel. The person who understands this and directs it ethically becomes a leader. The person who understands this without conscience becomes something far more dangerous. The surrounding laws in this chapter complete a portrait of the master strategist.